What's up, guys? The good folks at Atrium Lighting sent me one of their new Vela series 320 watt horticultural grow light to test out, and test out I will. First, let's do a rundown of the official specs, perform the never gets old unboxing, and go through the installation on a typical ceiling mount. I'm going to be featuring this very light in a series of videos as I really start to ramp up my indoor growing heading into fall. But for today, I'm just going to be able to give my first impressions. So let's get to it. First up, let's dive into the details. The Vela 320 is a powerful yet efficient horticultural grow light designed for fairly extreme humid conditions. This is what really excited me for this model with its IP65 waterproof rating. The light uses the very popular LM301B diodes from Samsung, as well as the Osram 660 nanometer diodes sprinkled throughout. Impressive stuff. Let's have a peek at the unit itself. Right off the bat, you can tell that the light is packed pretty solid. Extra measures were taken to ensure that the unit doesn't move around while in transit, which is nice to see. Here's the box within the box containing the light, and it's definitely got some weight to it. In the smaller box here is what I'm assuming to be the driver and all the connection pieces. Opening it up, it just seems to be the driver itself, which is a Meanwell HLG 320H 54A. Now let's have a look at that light board. Very nicely packed with a foam insert surrounding the entire unit. The massive heatsink has the Atrium name etched on either side, which is a nice touch. Close up, you can see all those lovely Samsung diodes across the three main boards. Solid stuff. Let's flip it over and have a peek at the back. Right away, you can see that wiring junction for the three light boards. And have a gander at that amazing heatsink. What a glorious chunk of metal. So, now that we have the Atrium Vela 320 all undressed and ready for action, let's head on over to the garage and get this guy installed. First up with installation is the driver. It's super easy to install, but if this is your first time, I'm going to walk you through it right now. You only need two tools, a 3mm Allen key and a small Phillips screwdriver. Line up the mounts on the driver with the mounts on the heatsink. There should be 4 on each. Screw in those supplied bolts by hand at first, and then tighten them off with that 3mm Allen key. Don't tighten those mounting screws all the way until you get all 4 in place. It makes it really hard to shift it to get the last bolt in if it doesn't line up properly. Give all 4 bolts a solid final turn, and mounting is complete. Now for the wiring. Disassemble that empty end of the wiring junction. It should just unscrew by hand. It comes apart in 3 pieces, and these are what protect the wiring from moisture. Slide the pieces over the bare wire from the driver. Here you can see the positive and negative terminals for the junction. Grab your tiny Phillips and let's connect the terminal. Loosen off the screws to expose the holes, but don't unscrew them all the way. They're a pain to get back in. Before you go any further, twist off those bare wire ends so that they're nice and neat. We don't want any loose or frayed wires exposed. If you're good, or just lucky like me, you can do both wires at the same time, holding them in place with one hand and using the screwdriver in the other. Make sure they're good and tight. We don't want them coming loose at all. Piece back those cover connectors to make that watertight seal, and the driver is now fully installed. You don't need any tools to tighten up that plastic wiring junction, but do make sure it's good and tight. This will really protect those wires from moisture. Time to light this bad boy up. Whoa! The VELA 320 is bright. Even with 2 pairs of sunglasses on, it strains the eyes. LED technology has come so far, it's crazy. Let's go ahead and mount the unit and call it a day. Unfortunately, the VELA 320 does not come with a wiring apparatus for hanging. It's a shame that this model didn't come with one. I hope they rectify that in the future. I don't like to ceiling mount any of my lights because I like the ability to move the height. This is mildly disappointing because at this price point, nearly all the lights on the market come with some sort of hanging system. Anyway, being the industrious fellow that I am, I decided to devise my own way to hang this guy. Using some wires and some spare pulleys, it actually wasn't that hard. All that's left to do is to raise the light to my desired height, level it off, and then plug it into my main timer system. Despite the lack of a hanging apparatus, that flush layout of the board with the massive heatsink, coupled with top-of-the-line LEDs and driver, I still have to give the VELA 320 a very firm 5 out of 5 ripe tomatoes. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you're getting value in this and the other series that I'm doing on YouTube, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons if you'd be so kind, and I'll see you in the next video.